We begin the 8 a.m. bulletin with the news that's coming in from Siachen that makes us believe that yes, miracles do happen. 6 days after an avalanche in Siachen buried 10 soldiers, one army man has been miraculously found alive. For 6 days, Lance Naik Hanumanthappa lay buried under 25 feet of snow in temperatures above minus 40 degrees Celsius. On the 3rd of February, Lance Naik Hanumanthappa was caught in the avalanche along with 9 other soldiers. Rescue efforts had been on since then, and according to a statement by Northern Army Commander Lieutenant General D.S. Hooda, the medical condition of the Jawan remains critical. The army, though on the 4th of February had feared that all of them could be dead, but he hoped that another miracle continues with Lance Naik Hanumanthappa, who hails from Karnataka. A junior commissioned officer and 9 other ranks of Madras Regiment were buried under the post after which was hit by an avalanche at the altitude of 19,000 feet on the 3rd of February. Joining me on the phone line is India Today's Shuja ul Haq. Shuja, this is nothing short of a miracle. All right, the line seems to have disconnected with Shuja, and as I was saying, miracles do happen, and this is a miracle that happened at the world's highest battleground, the Siachen, where one of the 10 Indian soldiers who was feared dead after an avalanche 6 days ago in the remote Himalayas has been miraculously rescued. Joining me on the phone line is India Today's Gaurav Sawant. Gaurav, this is nothing short of a miracle.
This indeed is one of the biggest miracles of all times at the Siachen Glacier. 6 days after being buried in a major ice wall collapse, Lance Naik Hanumanthappa has been found alive. Of course, he is extremely critical, but given the fact that something like this happened, the Army Commander, Lieutenant General Hooda himself, yesterday issued a press release late at night saying that the army is overjoyed that Lance Naik Hanumanthappa has been found alive. Of course, unfortunately, all the others passed away in this tragedy. At first light this morning, an effort is being made to airlift him from Partapur to New Delhi to bring him to the RNR hospital.
All right, Gaurav. Also, can you tell us more about the base? Siachen is, we know, is the highest battleground in the world. Can you tell us more about this base where the avalanche had hit?
This is one of the highest points at the Siachen Glacier, Amita. This is at an altitude of 19,600 feet in the Siachen Glacier. In fact, this is a point very much closer to the Saltoro ridgeline. This is where the Indian Army is deployed in the most harshest of conditions near the Bana top. The Bana top is the highest post in Siachen, around 21,000 feet. This is just short of that, where these soldiers were deployed at 19,600 feet, when suddenly, an ice wall collapsed on their bunkers where they were deployed. 10 of these soldiers were buried. Fortunately, and it's a miracle.
Yes.
It's only fingers crossed that he survives and then lives to tell us how. He managed to survive for 6 days, buried under snow. And when this happened, the army, of course, undertook the biggest ever such operation. When we were speaking to senior army officers, they were telling us how snow cutters were flown in to this post. It's very difficult even to breathe, even to walk 1 or 2 steps at 19,000 feet altitude. But for the past 6 days, painstakingly the army soldiers removed big chunks of ice, very gradually trying to go down where their bunkers were, using sophisticated radars. There was some sound that was heard, and that is why they relentlessly pressed on. And it was a miracle that Lance Naik Hanumanthappa was found alive last night.
Yes, Gaurav, it was a miracle. Stay on with me. I'm also now joined by Dr. Sanjeev Bagai, who is a nephrologist. Many thanks, Dr. Bagai, for speaking to India Today. As my colleague Gaurav Sawant was pointing out, that avalanches and landslides are very common in that area in Siachen, which is the highest battleground in the world, and temperatures can dip to as low as minus 60 degrees Celsius. So can you tell us what happens to the human body? Dr. Bagai, can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. As I was saying that avalanches and landslides are very common at Siachen, especially during winters, and it is the highest battleground in the world, and temperatures can drop to as low as minus 60 degrees Celsius. Can you tell us what happens to the human body in such circumstances?
Yeah, I think this gentleman's survival is nothing short of a miracle. Generally, at such subnormal temperatures, the body actually ceases to function. But in hindsight, I think probably what has happened is because of the low BMR, which the body metabolic rate falls down, and you go into a suspended state of hibernation. But still, I think this is really he's lucky, and the army has done a fantastic job to get him out. Otherwise, you can have within probably a few hours, you can have a cardiac arrest with that kind of cold.
Also, Sanjeev Bagai sir, can you also tell me that would Lance Naik Hanumanthapa, who has survived these harsh conditions, what counseling would a person or a Jawan like him would need?
Yeah, I think he will be in the hospital for a while. I think his cardiovascular system would have taken a severe beating. He will be grossly predisposed to severe frostbite. He will have a lot of metabolic disturbances. He will have issues with regards to eyes, the hearing, and things. So there are issues which still need to be attended to. But I'm sure that with proper care he would come through.
All right, Dr. Sanjeev Bagai, many thanks for speaking to India today. Gaurav, as Dr. Bagai was telling us how difficult it is for a person to even breathe properly in such conditions at Siachen, what are your sources in the army telling you? 5 bodies have been recovered so far. What is the status of the operation?
The operation will continue till all the other bodies are also recovered. They have been identified, they have been spotted. It's a very painstaking task to retrieve them. As far as Lance Naik Hanumanthapa is concerned, in his case, pulmonary edema is something that will set in, is what doctors were fearing, and that happens instantly. But the fact that he still has heartbeat, he is critical, but the fact that he still has heartbeat, it defies all known medical norms at the Siachen Glacier. So they are actually saying it's God's will that he has survived, and that is why, the Army and the Air Force, now my sources in the Army were telling me, even if it's raining, even if it's snowing, they will defy all odds and they will make all efforts to fly him to Delhi because he has defied every known norm to survive, and they will do everything to ensure that he survives. So it's all, and everybody is praying. Everybody across the country is praying for him to survive.
And we are also praying, and we hope that Lance Naik Hanumanthapa recovers soon. As my colleague Gaurav Sawant was saying, that Lance Naik Hanumanthapa, who was buried under 25 feet of snow following an avalanche at the Siachen Glacier, has been found alive.